Waiting to say this for 5 years. Welcome to Eco Building Bargains. We're finally here, and it's just very exciting. Thank you all for coming. Today is really about celebrating and thanking you, expressing our gratitude for all of the help you've given us, and there'll be a few ceremonies that we do briefly this morning to articulate that to you. I'd like to thank some of our special guests, honored guests for coming today. Senator Gail Kondaris is here. Is Representative Coakley-Rivera here? No, okay. Marvina from Representative Swan's office is here. Mayor Dominic Sarno. Thank you, Mayor, for coming. Is the sheriff here this morning? Sheriff, okay. City Councilor Melvin Edwards. You're here this morning. Thank you so much for coming. We also have Katie O'Rourke from the Department of Energy Resources, Edgar Alejandro from Western Mass Electric Company, Derek Buckler from Columbia Gas. These are all very important partners of ours. And then Paul Gaverty, who's the president of our board of directors. Thank you, Paul, for being here. I'd like to thank Andrea Goblin from our staff. She's over at the table there for putting today's wonderful event on, as always. Thank you, Andrea. Great job. Actually, could all the staff from Eco Building Bargains come up to the front here and just stand in front of me? All you guys, come on up. While they're coming up, I just want to say, these guys have worked so hard and so tirelessly. If any of you saw what this building looked like, even a couple of weeks ago, much less a year ago, these guys have been working incredibly hard, long hours, and not just doing good work, but really doing it with pride and really believing in the mission and caring about what they do. And I think you can see it in the results. So thank you to all of you very much for your efforts. Okay, thank you. And isn't this a beautiful building? Before these guys could make it look good, we needed a designer that could take what someone called the building that even an engineer could make look better and actually turn it into a beautiful building. And so Karen Brous is here from Site Lab Architecture and Design. I want to thank Karen. Karen's the one who's responsible for making the outside of the building so beautiful, making the inside of the building so beautiful, but really also for working on how all of our visitors are going to experience the building, and the fact that we have so many reused items incorporated into construction, and we have different energy efficiency aspects of the building that are going to be very visible, and we're going to have educational signage and displays, and basically anything that you look at that say, wow, that looks really cool, that was Karen's doing. So Karen, I can't thank you enough, and she did this all as a volunteer as well. And then I have to thank Steve Ferrari, our construction manager. Is he still standing? Where is Steve? Oh, there he is. Thank you, Steve. I've been told that I'm very good at getting people to volunteer to do things. And then I just tell Steve, oh, there's a 47th person on the project. Figure out how to sort of make it all work. And he's pieced it all together. He's even enlisted his relatives, which are here with him today, to help on the project. So really appreciate your help, Steve. We have some special guests here today, which don't often get a lot of recognition, but really deserve it. there's a whole bunch of what we call our commercial donors. So all the inventory you see here is donated one way or the other. It's somebody else's trash, it becomes somebody else's treasure, as you know. And we really rely on these donors. And many of them have been with us for the last 10 years, and they've made us as successful as we have been so that we could move into this place, and we really couldn't do our work without them. They're all getting a special certificate of award today, and if you could just raise your hands if you've ever donated anything to the store, we'd really like to thank you. Now, unfortunately, if I kept on thanking everybody that I had to thank, it's basically everybody in this room, it would take too long, and we don't have chairs for you. So we're going to finish what we started at the groundbreaking. For any of you who remember this puzzle, the theme of the event was we were all pieces of the puzzle. And each one of these puzzle pieces was put up here by a representative of some of the type of people that we get help from. And then we didn't put the last piece of the puzzle in because we weren't done yet. So there are people who gave financial contributions, all of the donors, and there's a donor wall over here. This is a picture of what it's going to look like, but it's going to be very nice engraved plaques on a reused wood wall, and that's under construction. We've had all of our in-kind volunteers for time and talent, all the donations of materials for the construction. So many of you have acted as ambassadors to tell other people about us, either as the capital campaign committee or just to get other people to shop or donate here. And in particular, I can see that York Mayo is here, who's our campaign chairman, and I want to thank him. York told me he was too busy to help on the campaign because he helped so many different nonprofit agencies, and then he chaired it. So that says something about York. I was happy to have him for the time that I had him. But what we're going to do is a little ceremony now as the first part of the proceedings today to just have to thank everyone for your part in making things happen. Is Steve Davis? I know you're here, Steve. Can you come up to the front for a minute? Would you mind? I didn't ask Steve about this ahead of time because I know he would have said no, because Steve he does so much to help us, but never asks to be in the spotlight. So, Steve, if you just stand there for a minute, what's going to happen is Andrea's way in the back, and she has the last puzzle piece, and she's going to, when we say go, start handing it up, and everyone just touch it on its way up to Steve. Whoever's in the line there, we'll just take a minute to hand it up so we can reinforce that everyone helped here. And then Steve will ask you to pop it in. And we did check this morning that it fits, so it's a low pressure situation. All right, go ahead, Andrew. Why don't you start passing it around, and we'll make its way up here. Thank you very much. It really has been just an incredible experience to get all the help from all of you in doing this, and I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Next, I'd like to ask Senator Kondaris and then Mayor Sarno to come up and say a few words. Thank you, Gail.
So I remember very clearly when you were over on Albany Street and we had the grand opening of Restore at that point. And so I was captivated by the idea of using things again and recycling things And I thought to myself, what a wonderful idea that people are going to be able to use these things and repurpose them. And this, when I saw this, we are all pieces of the puzzle, and when we were just talking about it, I think it just means a little bit more, because I think the folks who started this, the impetus for this, came more out of a desire, a very strong desire, not to build some mega business, not to do anything more than to make sure that on a shrinking planet, that people were able to use these things and repurpose them and not have them end up in a landfill and not have them end up someplace. And it was a genuine motivation for it when I first came. So obviously, these folks were ahead of their time, and it was an idea that clearly had come. And what could be more important nowadays than to be green? It's all about being green. So you've hit the market in my world. Obviously, they need you on Wall Street, where they can't ever hit the market, apparently, but you've done a great job. We're very, very excited about this. I can remember it being a very tiny place, and to see this today is just miraculous. And everybody is to be congratulated for this. And we have a citation for it. Unfortunately, we were without power in our office for 8 days, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that regard, but we do have a nice citation coming from Boston. So thank you for inviting me today. And I'm not just excited about what you've done here, I'm excited about your future too. I think it's the right time, the right place, and you folks are the right people to get it done. So congratulations.
And next I'd like to bring up Mayor Dominic Sarno, who has been an avid supporter and cheerleader for us from the beginning, and we're honored to have you here again. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, staying with the green agenda, I'm glad that I've been recycled for another 4 years. I appreciate that. I was having fun with the Grossman kids over there with Silly Putty, telling them what they can do with on a newspaper. John, this has been a glowing example of a public and private partnership. And I'm glad to be joined here from my staff, Brian Connors and Scott Hansen, who worked very closely, and the city's partnership with you. Not only is it, as Senator Kendaris alluded to, good for the environment, but it's also good for economic development. This is creating a market, obviously, for rehabilitation and construction, and also jobs. But the big thing, John, is I want to know who's sitting on the perch up there. So, John, if you could ask January that we, City of Springfield in Western Massachusetts is not looking for any more natural disasters at all, we'd be very happy on that. But this shows another good announcement. My administration has been very keen on green economic development, the creative economy, and you have taken the lead. And to all the benefactors, your generosity is deeply appreciated. But what's more appreciated has been your belief and confidence in John and his staff as we move the city of Springfield forward. So to each and every one of you, I thank you very, very much, and God bless you, God bless your families, and God bless our green city of Springfield. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And as Senator Kendaris said, it is true that today is, she referenced the future. These kind of events are always very fun to look back and to celebrate and be grateful for everything that's happened, but they really are the beginning of something as opposed to the end of something. So we're open and this is great, but now we have our mission to do. After all, our mission isn't to build new stores, it's to help people fix up their homes at low cost. So that's what we're doing here today. And this facility is going to do that. We have aisles. That's a new investment that we've made. We have a parking lot. I guess some things kind of retail 101 that we weren't able to, because we run as a self-sufficient nonprofit part of the Center for Ecotechnology. Besides these infusions of capital that we got once to start and once now, we run on our own resources that we generate from doing our mission. And so we have to do things in sequentially like any small business. And we were very happy to start where we did. Joe Sibilia unfortunately couldn't be here today, but to start at his place on Gasoline Alley was a huge godsend for us because he was very supportive of us. We had very low rent. We were able to grow over time and improve that property, and we really appreciate his support. And I'm just excited at how far we've come. To make this place work, we are going to be doubling the amount of people that we help and the amount of people that we employ and a lot of different things. But what we really have to do is double the amount of stuff that comes into this building. And we have all kinds of different things going on to make that happen, but we have 150 people here, and you could all actually be very helpful if I could ask you. We get our stuff from homeowners and contractors. We get our stuff from a process called deconstruction, where we have our own contractors that go out and take stuff out as a subcontractor to another builder. We also have people here today who have given us stuff from their retail store or their manufacturers, distributors. And no matter what, when we come to get it, we pick it up for free. We give them a receipt, and they can use that receipt at tax time, and it doesn't get thrown away. So I guess what I'd like to ask, if each of you going home today, or over the next week, you could think of 5 people that you know that might be potential donors to our operation. You know, neighbors that's going to be remodeling, a friend who runs a business that you know of. Please tell them about us. And then John Grossman, who's here in the front, raise your hand, John, and also Andra, who you've already met. They would love to talk to these people. That's their job, is to talk to them and find out how we can work together. And I guarantee that no one will be more excited than those two if you send somebody our way. So we really appreciate all the help you've given. And this is probably easy compared to everything else you've done for us. So thank you. Okay, now we're gonna do what we really came here for, which is to cut the ribbon. So let's see if we could get the mayor and the senator and Councilor Edwards and Steve Davis come out here. We have a little. This is a homemade ribbon right in front of the cash register here. It's a homemade cash register. It's all made up. This counter made by Trent Guillen from Metalwood Common Good. The scissors over there too. This is Betsy. Betsy's the one who made January. That person who's good there. She also made this ribbon, and there should be a box of scissors there. And we're going to cut it.
You want
and
some,
then
some of your staff?
yeah, sure. Yeah, some of the staff want to come around, and I'll come too. After we cut it, we're officially open, and I do mean that. We're going to have people at the register, and you're welcome to shop. And there's tons of food in the back. Make sure that you don't leave before having some food, and before you get to look around. Walk in the offices any way you want to. This is really your facility. Yeah, York would be a great one.
Come on. Staff in the background?
Okay, you need about 20 feet of ribbon.
Let's get everybody in here. Okay.
Anybody else got lots of scissors?
Come on.
We got lots of scissors here.
We didn't do anybody nothing here. You did. We're going to sell the scissors great tape.
Is there any way that, are you guys taking the pictures this way? Okay, good. We're going to have our bags. Sorry.
Everybody get behind him.
Yeah, everybody come on the right. Everybody come on the right.
Just a friendly reminder, this can only be done.
Ready? You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, everybody, have food, walk around, have fun. Thank you so much. Stay as long